this YouTube video, we will be explaining the difference between SQL and NoSQL, as well as the different databases within NoSQL. There are two main types of modern databases to choose from, namely relational and non-relational, also referred to as SQL and NoSQL. Here are some differences between traditional SQL versus NoSQL. SQL is table-based data structure, whereas NoSQL is document-based, graph-based, key-value pairs, or wide column stores. SQL requires a strict predefined schema, whereas NoSQL doesn't require any predefined schemas, allowing you to work more freely with unstructured data. SQL is vertical scalability, whereas NoSQL is horizontal scalability.
Stores. What is a key value store? Key value stores are characterized as being the simplest form of a NoSQL database. According to Amazon, it is a non-relational database that makes use of a key and associated value to that key in order to store data. The key serves as the unique identifier. Key-value databases are partitionable and allow for horizontal scaling. Key-value data stores may also be referred to as an associative array, which has been organized into two columns, namely the key and value column. Where are key-value stores used? Key-value stores are used in the management of user sessions, the storage of a user's preference, advertisement services, recommendations of products, and can serve as a cache for regularly accessed but seldomly updated data. Key-value database storage works as follows. You have a key, you have an attribute that has a value. For example, the attribute last name corresponds with the value of Ramesh, the attribute first name corresponds with the value of Alfred, and the attribute of initial corresponds with the value of A. An example, in a traditional SQL database, you have your primary key together with your attributes. In a NoSQL key value store, you have your attribute, you have your value. For example, last name has a value of Davilo, last name has a value of Fuller, last name has a value of Levering, first name has a value of Jeanette, first name has a value of Andrew, first name has a value of Nancy. Thank you.
The second database for NoSQL is known as a document database. Document database is a subclass of key value stores, and the differences lie in the way the data is processed. It's designed to store and query data as JSON-like documents. This makes it easier for developers to store and query data in a database by using the same document model format used in their application code. Document database enables flexible indexing, powerful ad hoc queries, and analytics over collections of documents. Here is an example for a key value ID is put in the first column, and the attributes and the values for those attributes are put into the second column under the document. Here's an example from the Northwinds database with the employee table. Here are the first 3 employees and the first 4 key value ID, which is the same as the employee ID, is put in the first column. And then the attributes last name, first name, and title are put in bold. And they are given their values, their respective values, in inverted commas. Even though document database is a subclass of key value stores, there are several differences. Here's a comparison between two NoSQL databases. Key value stores value components contains any type of data, whereas a document database value component contains a document. The logical groups of a key value store is known as buckets, and the logical groups of a document database is known as collections. Key value stores don't attempt to understand the content of the value component, whereas document database attempt to understand the content of the value component.
Hello, today I'm going to be telling you about column-oriented database table in the NoSQL technology. What is it? It is a database management system that stores data tables by columns rather than by rows, also called columnar database, refers to traditional relational database technologies that uses column-centric storage instead of row-centric storage. What is a column-centric storage? Are databases that are organized data by field, keeping all of the data associated with the field next to each other in memory. What is row-centric storage? Are databases that are organized by record, keeping all of the data associated with the record next to each other in memory. This is an example of a column-oriented database, row-centric storage, and column-centric storage. I'm going to be using the employee table from Northwind. As you can see, this is your normal table from your database. And as the second table is your employee relational table, where you would look at each column instead of each row. Here you have your column-centric storage and your row-centric storage. For the column-centric storage, each block will contain a column's data. So in block 1, we have employee ID. In block 2, we have employee last name. Block 3, we have employee first name, and block 4, an employee title of each individual columns. And row-centric storage, each block will contain the whole row's information, and you can have as many blocks as you want or as less blocks as you want, and you can put as much data in each block. And that is column-oriented database tables. Thank you.
Graph database. So what is a graph database? A graph database is a database based on graph theory to store data about relationships. Graph theory is a mathematical and computer science field that models relationships or edges between objects called nodes. So nodes are typically representing entities and organized in relationships. Edges are used to represent the relationships between those entities. So here we have Neo4j, which is the most popular technology for graph databases in NoSQL. So this is an example of what a graph database diagram would look like in this technology. So here we have your node representing the entity which is in a circle, and beside it we have your edges. So the use of graph databases, the advantages are using fraud detection, insider threats in trading and loans, and we also have digital assistance and regulatory reporting. Thank you guys.